Sanibonani. Tumela. My Zulu teacher is here, so I better show off my Zulu. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't ask for a better husband than Gary. And thank you for being there for me and support me and trusting that I'll be back safely. So, Everest. So the last 7 years, I've been climbing Kilimanjaro twice, and Manaslu, 8,163 meters, and Amada Blum, one of the most technical climbing in the Himalaya, and then of course now, Everest. One of the journalists actually asked me, she says, you've been climbing all this mountain and coming back here to a normal life. How could you adapt this, It's not easy. It is not easy to come back to a normal life. But the places that we are living now is normal. We climbing mountain every day, big or small. We climbing mountain, financial mountain, emotional mountain. And also people are suffering with sickness. Those are the mountains that we climb every day. And going back to talking about the failures, instead of talking about the win. Yes, we're here to celebrate the win today, but I want to share with you some of the failure that I've been through. And I climbed 8,163 meters to become the first South African reach to the true summit. Because the whole time they were flying this drone and realized that the summit that you guys been summit the whole time is actually not the true summit. Yeah, so I become one of the person in the history of South African reach to the true summit of 8,163 meters. When I summit, you're so happy, you're so excited. You take that picture, right? But the weather changed in 1 second. It was wind, it was strong wind, it was snowing, and the weather just dropped straight away. And my shepherd says, let's go. And my shepherd was telling me to, let's go down, we need to go down straight away. And he was pushing me. I fall 10 meters. And this other climber coming the other side, the opposite side, they said, what? Because he saw that I fall so hard. That's why I broke my ankle. But 8,000 meters, no one's coming to save you. You need to go down. In so much pain, I pushed myself for another 8 hours to get down to Camp 2. And I was shaking, and this summer suit was frozen. I can't even put myself out of the suit. And I realized they actually didn't take my other jacket to replace this. I was shaking the whole night to survive until the next day. Satellite phone comes, the insurance company says, is there anything broken? I don't know. There's no blood. So can you take a picture of your feet? Oh, 6,800 meters, there's no Wi-Fi. How am I going to send you my picture? Oh, sorry, but you're not qualified to be evacuated. I was left there. Don't know what to do. And I see all my climbers, they left, on the mountain. You're on your own. No one's there for you. They don't feel sorry for you. They left. And I and my Sherpa was there and waited. not even 1 second that I was doubted that I'm going to die here. Because if I have to claw myself down, I'm going to claw myself down for another 10 hours. I'm going to survive. I got down and I realized, you have to tap into yourself, deep into yourself at that moment. Within 10 minutes, the helicopter came. My operator company sent a heli to rescue me. This is what happened. Yeah, it was life-threatening. And am I showing you my feet now? Sorry. Okay. Yeah, so what did I do? I come back and I was broken, and I felt every morning for 6 months I woke up with this pain coming on my feet. I couldn't shake it off. I felt depressed. I couldn't shake it off at all. I really have to focus on my healing. And I said to myself, if I can climb, so usually people climb Everest after monastery, but I said to myself, this is not my time. I'm going to climb something more technical, so I just get to know more experience before I climb Everest. And I went with Sibusiso Finale. He's actually the first African climb 7 summit, and we went together, and I managed to summit Amanda Blum, 6,800 meters, actually 800 meters and 13, to actually get more confident about my climbing. And Sibusisa says, if you can climb Amanda Blum, this is one of the most technical climb, you're ready for Everest. I think that really resilience has been built since I was small. My mom is Japanese, my dad is Chinese, and if you know Chinese and Japanese, they're not very friendly with each other. And I'm like the child of a Romeo and Juliet. And when I was only 3 years old, my mom decided to leave without saying goodbye. And one day, my dad and myself, we went home and we realized my mom's gone. And we ran all the way to the airport and realized she left. And I was only 3, I told my dad, it's gonna be okay. I don't know how, I told my dad that. My dad suffered a lot because people would question him, like, how could you can't even keep your wife around. What kind of man is this? And he doesn't know how to look after me. He will dress me, my hair is always in a mess, and he will dress me in a short sleeve over a long sleeve, and he will dress me in a skirt, and he worried that I catch a cold, and he will put a long pants on me. So, like, they would say to my dad, why are you dragging Angela around? Why don't you just leave her at the orphanage? You're not coping with her. And my family even said to my dad, you know what, isn't that we have this aunt, she's got mental illness? Why don't you just leave her with leave Angela with her so you can just be free? It's very cruel, right? So my dad, he held on to me. I'm so grateful. And later on, he remarried, and they decided to immigrate here to South Africa. The reason we came here is because of political reason. Hong Kong has to return back to China. So before 1990, we already immigrated here 35 years ago. And I grew up in Bloem. En verstaan Afrikaans. We grew up Look, like you guys are laughing, it was painful. You know, everybody will be fetched by their parents, and I will be the only one who actually catching a bus, and people were staring at me because I look different to everybody else. This is how I grew up. It was quite a challenge, you know. So, but that's how resilient been built up since I was small. Oh well. So 2018 and 2019. Going back. Hello. Okay. Going back. Actually, 2017 was the first time I met my biological mother after 30 years of constantly looking for her. It was 2017. And you can only give when you have, and your cup is full. And after meeting my mom, I realized I could do this. And 2018 and 2019, Track for Mandela approached us to climb Kilimanjaro for caring for girls that cannot afford sanitary pad and missing school 50 days a year. And I said yes. Of course, we have Xavier, Lynn, Marie, all of you were there with me climbing Kilimanjaro for caring for girls. And that's how I started Philanthropist, my journey of Philanthropist. And those sanitary pads that I've collected, we went all the way back to Bloom, to Bojabella in Free States. You know, we have to go give back to the place that we come from. That's what I did. And, you know, when the time you decided to climb, it was actually impossible. You know, people die on Kilimanjaro too, not just Everest. And when the time I say yes, you need to start training. You know, I'm a jeweler, I'm a ballroom dancer. I never ever imagined myself can do something outdoor. And when my husband said to me, "No, let's go camping," I says, "No, the only star that I want to see is 5-star." It was just impossible, you know? No. But because you put your mind to something, you know, anything can be possible, right? No, and it also changed my lifestyle. I changed my lifestyle through climbing and get to know myself better. And 2020, like Gary was saying, you know, really seeing people were suffering and thinking, what can we do to make a change? And I said, man, let's just do a food drive because people are suffering, they don't have enough food. Just by word of mouth, I collected 10 tons of food. Paulette was there dropping off food, you know, a lot of people were there dropping off food that time. Danica was there to help, you know, 2020. But who is Angela to give out the food? You know, no one's going to come and receive your food if Angela's coming. So that's actually motivated me to start Impedo Collection Foundation. Impedo means live in Isisulu. And then we gave out to the GBV shelter, OH home and orphanage at the same time. Later we received 1 ton of sanitary pad we gave out to HIV Pass Home and also special girls. And one of the girls actually come and talk to me. And I said, so we asked the girls, what would you like to be one day? And they says, I want to be like you. I said, okay, really? And you start talking to them and they actually start opening up and says, Auntie Angela, next time when you come, please bring us some bras. And I did a research and realized there was 2,700 women die from gender-based violence during COVID. And those numbers are not even reported.